Scorpio, something is brewing for you, something inevitable, powerful, and definitive. The last Sunday of 2025 will not be just another day on the calendar. It will be the day when everything you have built, destroyed, transformed, and hidden throughout this entire year will converge at a single point, at a single moment, at a single choice that will determine whether you enter 2026 as a phoenix reborn or as someone still trapped in the ashes of what you should have let die. Pay close attention now, because what I'm about to reveal isn't comfortable. It's not easy to hear, but it's absolutely necessary that you know. This last Sunday of the year, you'll be faced with a situation that will brutally expose which version of you is truly in control of your life. The evolved version that has done the inner work throughout the year, or the old version that still clings to destructive patterns for fear of letting go of the familiar. And here's what makes this so intense. You won't be able to pretend. You won't be able to postpone. You won't be able to analyze for weeks before deciding. The last Sunday of 2025 will demand an immediate response from you, a definitive action, a clear stance, and how you respond that day will echo throughout all 12 months of 2026. Can you feel the pressure of that building inside you right now as you read these words? Let me tell you what will really happen this last Sunday. One of three things will manifest in your life, depending on what you most need to confront to complete your transformation. Some Scorpios will receive a tempting offer, something that seems perfect on the surface, but will require you to compromise fundamental values you swore to uphold. Others will face the return of something or someone from the past, testing whether you have truly closed that chapter or are still emotionally available for patterns that have already proven to be toxic. And a third group will face a sudden revelation. A hidden truth will come to light, forcing you to deal with something you have been avoiding. Which of these three situations you will encounter depends precisely on where you are still vulnerable. The universe knows your weaknesses better than you do. It knows where you are not yet fully strengthened. It knows which wounds you have only superficially healed. It knows which lessons you have learned intellectually, but have not yet integrated into your actual behavior. And the last Sunday of 2025 will press precisely on these vulnerable points to reveal whether the transformation you believe you have completed is genuine or merely cosmetic. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, the test will come through a temptation related to power or control. You will be placed in a position where you could easily manipulate a situation to your advantage, where no one would know, where there would be no visible consequences. The question is, will you use old methods to get what you want, or will you honor the integrity you have spent the entire year building? For those born between November 3rd and 12th, the challenge will be emotional and relational. Someone who has deeply hurt you will reappear, either literally or through a situation that evokes all the same wounds. And you will have to choose between falling back into the cycle of giving endless chances to those who don't deserve them, or maintaining the firm boundaries you finally learned to establish. And for Scorpios born between November 13th and 21st, the last Sunday will bring a decision about authenticity versus security. You will have to choose between doing something your soul knows is right, but that will destabilize your life in unpredictable ways, or continuing on the safe path that you know is slowly killing your spirit. But here's what's crucial to understand. There is no neutral choice on that day. There is no, "I'll think about it later." The very hesitation, the very need for time to decide, is the answer. Because if you had truly transformed at the profound level you think you have, the correct answer would be obvious and instantaneous. The fact that you hesitate would reveal that there is still a part of you clinging to what should have been left behind. Scorpio, the last Sunday of 2025 is essentially a final exam. You've spent the entire year in the school of transformation. You've faced challenges, you've processed pain, you've broken patterns, you've rebuilt yourself. And now comes the test that will show whether you've truly learned or if you've only memorized the right answers without internalizing the knowledge. And unlike a normal exam where you can cheat or barely pass, this test only has two possible outcomes: complete approval or total failure. If you succeed, if you make the choice aligned with your highest self, you will literally feel an energetic shift at the moment of decision. It will be as if a door opens within you, granting access to levels of personal power, clarity, and purpose that you knew existed but never fully achieved. You will enter 2026 with unwavering self-confidence because you will have concrete proof that you have truly changed. But if you fail, if you choose based on fear, attachment, or old patterns, you will feel a door closing, not in a punitive way, but as a natural consequence of not being ready for the next level. And 2026 will become a year of repetition. You will face the same lessons, the same challenges, the same missed opportunities, only with increased intensity until you finally make the choice you are avoiding making now. And here's the part that might scare you. Deep down, you already know what the right choice is. Your Scorpio intuition has already identified exactly what you should do on the last Sunday of 2025. But you're afraid of the consequences. Afraid of losing something or someone, afraid that making the right choice will mean pain in the short term, even knowing that it's liberation in the long term. This fear is not weakness. It's a sign that the choice truly matters, that the stakes are real, that you're on the verge of genuine transformation, not just another superficial change. Fear tells you that you're about to do something meaningful. And how you deal with that fear last Sunday will define who you are. You need to understand something fundamental about this day. It's not coming to test you because you're weak. It's coming to test you because you're strong enough to pass. The universe doesn't waste advanced level tests on people who are still at the basics. The fact that you were placed in this position last Sunday means that you have already evolved to the point where this test makes sense. It means that you have the ability to pass. The question is whether you will use that ability or let fear paralyze it. In the days leading up to that last Sunday, you will feel a growing tension, a restlessness you can't quite name. You'll be tempted to distract yourself, to numb yourself with excessive busyness, to avoid being alone with your thoughts. Don't do that. This restlessness is your internal system preparing for what's coming. It's like an athlete feeling the adrenaline before a crucial competition. Don't fight it, use it. Look at the year that is ending with absolute honesty. Where have you truly changed? Where have you only pretended to change? What patterns have you genuinely broken? Which ones have you only disguised better? What promises have you made to yourself and kept? What promises have you broken when it became too difficult to keep them? This brutal self-assessment will prepare you to recognize the test when it appears on the last Sunday. Because if you have already identified your own weaknesses before, when the situation arises, you will immediately recognize it for what it is, an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your old standards. Scorpio, something you need to accept is that last Sunday can bring pain. Making the right choice isn't always making the comfortable one. Sometimes honoring your integrity means disappointing people. Sometimes maintaining your boundaries means losing relationships that depended on you not having boundaries. Sometimes choosing your highest good means giving up immediate gratifications that your still unhealed self desperately craves. On the last Sunday of 2025, you'll have to choose which kind of pain you prefer to carry, and that choice will reveal whether you truly prioritized your growth throughout the year or if you're still prioritizing immediate comfort over real progress. Let me prepare you for the specific temptations that may arise that day. If the situation involves a person, they will appear in exactly the way they know disarms you. If it's someone who hurt you in the past, they will arrive with the most charming and repentant version of themselves. They will say exactly what you've always wanted to hear. They will promise exactly what you've always wanted to receive, and everything inside you that hasn't completely healed yet will want to believe it. If the situation involves a tempting opportunity, It will be presented urgently. I need an answer now. This chance won't come around again. Others are interested too. All the pressure will be applied to make you decide out of fear of losing, instead of deciding based on genuine alignment with your values. If the situation involves a truth being revealed, it will come in a way that completely destabilizes the narrative you've built around something important. It will force you to admit that you were wrong, that you were deceived, that you trusted the wrong person. And the temptation will be to deny it, to rationalize it, to create excuses so you don't have to deal with the painful reality. In each of these scenarios, your first instinctive reaction will likely be the wrong one, because the instincts you developed in the past were developed by the old version of yourself, with the old values, the old fears, the old needs. The new version of you, the one you've worked so hard to become, requires you to pause before reacting, to take a deep breath, to ask yourself, what would my higher self do in this situation? And here's something powerful. If you honestly ask yourself this question at the moment of choice, you will know the answer. It won't be the answer your scared side wants it to be. It won't be the answer that makes everything easier, but it will be a clear, sharp, undeniable answer. And then only one decision will remain. Will you honor that answer, or will you betray it? Scorpio, the last Sunday of 2025 also carries a promise along with the warning. If you make the right choice, something extraordinary will open up for you in January. I'm not talking about immediate rewards or instant gratification. I'm talking about you finally accessing the version of your life that you always knew was possible, but never managed to fully manifest. Because here's the truth. You've been sabotaging your own greatness over the years, not intentionally, but through small concessions, small betrayals of yourself, small choices based on fear instead of faith in your own strength. Every time you chose the safe but limiting option instead of the risky but aligned one, you closed a door to greater possibilities. The last Sunday of 2025 gives you the chance to stop this pattern of self-sabotage, to finally make the courageous choice you've been avoiding. And when you do, it's as if the universe has been waiting for this proof of commitment to release opportunities that have been withheld until you are ready to honor them. In the first days of January 2026, if you pass the test last Sunday, you will begin to notice synchronicities accelerating. The right people appearing at the right time, information arriving exactly when you need it, doors opening in ways that seem almost magical. It's not magic, it's alignment, it's you finally vibrating at the frequency that attracts what was always meant for you. But this alignment only comes if you prove last Sunday that you're ready for it, that you're willing to make difficult choices to maintain your integrity, that you won't compromise your values for convenience, that you won't revert to old patterns when you feel uncomfortable, that you've truly evolved and aren't just performing evolution. Now let me prepare you for what to do if you realize you're about to make the wrong choice. Because brutal honesty is a hallmark of Scorpios, let's be honest. You might waver, you might feel the temptation to give in, you might feel fear taking over and pushing you back toward the familiar. If this happens on the last Sunday, here's what you do. You stop. Physically stop what you're doing. Step away from the situation if possible, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You breathe deeply, and you ask yourself a single question. A year from now, looking back on this moment, what choice will I wish I had made? This question takes you out of the pressure of the moment and puts you in a broader perspective. Because in the heat of the moment, the wrong choice always seems justifiable. There are always seemingly valid reasons to give in, to back down, to choose the easy way out. But when you look from the future to the present, the clarity is usually absolute. You know that a year from now, you'll be grateful you had the courage to make the difficult choice now. You know you'll look back and think, it was scary, but it was the best decision I could have made. And you know that if you make the wrong choice, you'll spend all of 2026 with that horrible feeling of, I knew what I should have done and I didn't. Use this future perspective to guide your present choice. Let the version of you from December 2026 advise the version of you from the last Sunday of 2025, because that future version already knows what happens on each path, and it's telling you, through your intuition, which path to choose. Scorpio, I also need to warn you about something that can happen in the days immediately following last Sunday, depending on the choice you make. If you make the right choice, the aligned, courageous one, you may experience what I call the post-decision vacuum. It's a strange period where you made the right choice, but the positive results haven't yet manifested, and the part of you that gave up what was familiar is grieving. Don't let this void make you question your decision. Don't let the lack of immediate validation convince you that you were wrong. Profound changes always go through this strange period where the old has died, but the new hasn't fully been born yet. It's uncomfortable, it's uncertain, but it's temporary. And it's absolutely necessary. If you find yourself in this void in the first days of 2026, remember, you didn't make the right choice to feel good immediately. You made it to become who you need to be. And that process of becoming includes periods of discomfort. Go through them. On the other side is the version of you that you worked all year to create. On the other hand, if you make the wrong choice last Sunday, you will experience something different in the following days, a false sense of relief. It will seem like you made the right decision, because life continues as it was, because you didn't lose what you were afraid of losing, because you avoided the discomfort you were dreading. But beneath this superficial relief lies a deep sadness, an inner knowing that you had the chance to take the leap and lacked the courage, that you betrayed your own evolution out of fear, that you chose to remain small when you could have expanded. This sadness will erode your self-esteem throughout 2026 in subtle but significant ways. And here's the hardest part. You won't be able to go back and redo the choice. That specific moment, that specific opportunity for testing won't repeat itself. You'll have other tests, other opportunities to choose courage over fear. But the test on the last Sunday of 2025 is unique. And once the moment passes, the choice is made. Definitely. So choose as if your life depended on it. Because in a way, it does. Not your physical life, but the quality of your existence in 2026. The path you will follow. The kind of person you will continue to be. The level of self-respect you will carry. All of that depends on what you do on that last Sunday. Scorpio, in the days leading up to this final Sunday, prepare yourself like a warrior preparing for battle. Strengthen your resolve. Clarify your value. Identify your weaknesses so that when they are tested, you won't be caught off guard. Practice saying no to small things that don't serve you, so that when you need to say no to the big thing on this final Sunday, you will have already strengthened that muscle. And above all, reconnect with why you started this transformation. Remember the pain that motivated you to change. Remember the promises you made to yourself when you were at rock bottom. Remember how much it cost to get where you are now, and use those memories as fuel so you don't waste all that work on a cowardly choice at a crucial moment. You didn't go through everything you went through this year to fail the final test. You didn't rebuild yourself piece by piece, only to crumble when it was time to prove that the rebuilding was real. You are stronger than your fears, wiser than your temptations, more powerful than any situation that last Sunday might bring. And when that day comes, when you find yourself facing that choice, remember, you are not alone in that moment. There is a future version of you rooting for you. There is a past version of you counting on you to honor all the pain she endured. And there is your present self that deserves for you to choose your evolution over your comfort. Make the choice that allows you to look in the mirror on December 31st, 2025, and fully respect the person looking back. Make the choice that allows you to enter 2026 with your head held high and a peaceful heart. Make the choice your soul knows is right, even if your mind is still making excuses to do otherwise. If this message resonated with you, If you felt a pang in your chest because you know it applies directly to you, simply share in the comments, "I'm ready for the test." Don't explain what your test is. Don't detail your situation. Just declare your readiness. This statement will strengthen your resolve and create a support network with other Scorpios who are also preparing for their moments of truth. Subscribe to the channel now, because after the last Sunday of 2025, I'll be making a special video for Scorpios on how to navigate January 2026, depending on the choice you made. I'll guide you through the integration period if you pass the test, or through the recovery process if you failed. Turn on notifications so you don't miss this crucial content that will support you in the transition to the new year. The last Sunday of 2025 is approaching, Scorpio, and you are ready. You may not feel like it, but you are. You did the work. You faced the fears. You broke the patterns. Now all that's left is to prove to yourself that it was all real. And when you prove it, when you make that difficult but right choice, you will unlock a level of life you didn't even know existed. Get ready. The final test is coming, and you will pass.